James here from the Gator Nation Football Podcast, bringing you a film breakdown of Florida's defense versus Alabama in the SEC Championship game. As always, if you like this content, like this video, sub to this channel, follow us on social media, drop us a dono on Patreon, and check out the podcast each and every Monday, where we bring you in-depth analysis of the Florida Gators. This will bring an end to the regular season of the Florida Gators campaign and an end to the 2020 defense as we know it. Could be a blessing, perhaps. At any rate, as always, every game that Florida has played this season gave us plenty to look at on film. So let's not waste any further time. Let's take a look, starting right from the beginning, with all of the crucial plays that Florida ran against Alabama in the SEC title game. Let's start by looking at the first play of the game. It's good to see how Florida wants to scheme Bama and vice versa. Now, you've missed this, but Bama has shifted like this. This is a sort of an homage to the Georgia play that, of course, beat Florida for a touchdown. Now, Georgia brought their players from here and rotated them there, and they brought one more of them. But a similar concept here. Let's see if we can run to the left side of Florida, the right side of Florida's defense, left side of Bama's offense, and see if we can steal a touchdown. Now, Florida's defensive line showing great progress as they have all season long. We're going to hold the edge here. That's Zachary Carter that you can't see. The edge is held. There's no hole there. Slayton then doing his job, allowing Diabate to come through free. David Turner's unit has been by far the best unit on Florida's defense. They get better each and every week, and they were actually quite good in this football game as well. They would have had far more hurries and pressures had the back end held up really even at all in this football game. Unfortunately, it did not. But either way, they did have a nice day, and they come out setting the tone by stopping Alabama's run play on first down. Facing third down and 10, Florida's going to jump off sides. Now, look, the reality is Dickerson, he cheats. There's no other way to see it. What he does is illegal. He bobs his head, as you can see him do here. He bobs his head. That is illegal. That should be a false start. That is a false start, and he gets away with it. Simple reality for Florida is all you have to do when you're playing defensive line is watch the football. Yes, it helps you to get off a little faster. Yes, it helps you to watch the linemen when they're moving. However, if you're going up against the center that is known for doing this, known for getting away with it, go one step further and watch the football at all times and make sure you don't get called, don't get offsides, especially in a third down and 10 when you have Alabama right where you want them. It happened to Florida twice in this game. All in all, watch the football. It's now third down and 5. We talked at length about Florida really hopefully getting up here in the line of scrimmage and chucking Devontae Smith and doubling him. So I would like to see Elam down here, then a safety over top, and make them throw the football to someone else. Was Florida going to do that? No, we knew for sure they weren't going to do that. Florida does not play like that. So on third and 5, we're going to give a 10-yard cushion here, and we're going to let him come underneath, as we talked about. You can see there's the mesh route. We talked about this on our prep video. Bama loves to run these little mesh routes underneath. Marco Wilson at the bottom of your screen is playing zone. If this goes vertical, he has to run with it because he has no safety help, but he has enough cushion to be able to read what's happening here to guard these mesh routes. That's fine, and actually excellent technique here on this side of the field by Florida. Elam is chasing way over the top of this route, coming over to help. Now, Marco Wilson has everything you want right here. Again, Marco Wilson is still starting despite a season's worth of bad plays on film. Busted zones, difficulty in man-to-man coverage, being a guy teams frequently attack. Here he is, still in the game. Got a chance to make a big play on third and 5. Your job is to make sure you maintain outside leverage and turn this back to the inside where you have help. Marco Wilson is not going to do that. He's going to take a shallow angle. He's going to run the wrong way. He's going to miss a tackle. And that's going to turn into a first down as Elam tackles him late. Now, these plays are huge. Championships are won with details. Championships are won with a season's worth of good film. Marco, not surprisingly, just hasn't had a season's worth of good film, and he makes a play there that he's made all season long, which is to not make a play. And that's unfortunate, but it plagues the Gators here again, as personnel would plague the Gators all day long in this football game. This is a call. That's perfectly fine. Florida's defense should have been able to get off the field here, but they didn't. And again, that's the likely expected result, given the certain players the teams are targeting and were targeting all year long. It's the very next play. Devontae Smith got a first down. Perhaps we'll pay attention to him here in this set. Bama going to run play action, which they often do. And Florida's not going to pay any attention to him at all. Florida is going to get pressure by the D-line. Here's Cox. Florida's D-line, again, did a really nice job in this game. On film, you're going to see that they were frequently in the backfield, applying pressure to Mac Jones in Alabama. This is a perfectly timed shove. If he waits even a quarter second later, it's going to be a block in the back, but he's able to shepherd him just by. Mac Jones steps up, makes a throw to his check down tight end, and completes this pass for a first down. But what you're not looking at is this. Devontae Smith released wide open. Here he is. You're going to see him. He just ran a little sit route like this. The closest Florida defender is in the middle of the end zone, which you can't see back here, and there's no one here. He's completely wide open. Mac Jones could have just floated one in there if he wanted for a touchdown. Instead, he's kind enough to take this check down. But Florida's game plan early on seemed to actually purposely not account for Devontae Smith. Hard to understand why that was. After a short Bama run at 2nd and 7, again, we've talked about this all year long. I would have liked to have seen Florida attack these stack formations by applying pressure to the top of the stack or the top of the bunch. Florida's not going to do that. I also, because that's Devontae Smith, would have wanted to see Florida assign a player to rough him up on the line of scrimmage and then assign a safety to play over top. That's not going to happen either. However, Florida is 3 versus 2 here, and they have the advantage. The safety is slid over. They have the exact right defense here to cover this route combination. Here comes an out route, which Brad Stewart's going to pick up. Elam is dropping into the corner window. Elam should be dropping right into this window. Kyer should be there. This is his role. It's his responsibility. He should be dropping back far enough. And Donovan Steiner should also be on top of this route because that's the only vertical route coming into his zone. He should be taking that receiver and taking that route away. Elam does not drop back far enough. And Steiner, as he typically does, sort of just comes in at the end of the play as a spectator. Like primarily what you'll see Steiner on film doing is just showing up at the end of a play. Like he just appears on your screen. He doesn't really do much. He's sort of a player on the field that doesn't really play, and safety play has plagued Florida since Dan Mullen has gotten here. It's been a sore spot. It's been a weak spot. Sean Davis has been adequate. He was not playing in this game. It's just hard to explain things like these. Again, we're fine here. Elam needs to drop to this corner route, and your safety has got to be over there making a play. Neither of those things happen. First down for Alabama. Florida did do a couple of nice things in this football game. One of the things they did extremely well was take away the deep routes. Alabama only completed 1 pass of 20 or more air yards. No touchdowns. They typically complete a lot more. In fact, 15% of their passes this season have traveled further than 20 air yards. Florida was committed to taking away the deep pass. Here is Devontae Smith. There's going to be a double deep bracket on him. Alabama likes to take shots with play action. There it is. There's the play action. And then Florida did also a pretty good job of guarding these high-low routes. Now, I think a large reason for this is Grantham's defensive schemes in general tend to work better when teams are only sending 3 guys out or 4 at the most, which is what Bama typically does. They also are trying to stretch the field high-low, so they're going to run some verticals, some longer developing routes, and then some shallower routes. The intermediary routes tend to be pretty simple. It's a little bit more old school with this particular version of Alabama's offense and mentality, and naturally, some of Grantham's schemes will wind up playing into that. Here's Cox again applying pressure on Mac Jones, and here's, in fact, Trey Dean playing really good defense. It's nice to see a safety that's right there. This is an excellent pass and an excellent play by Alabama. Trey Dean's right there. These are the kind of plays you want to see your team giving up, by the way. This is what you're looking for on film. If you're playing good defense, these windows are going to be small. There's the play action. No one goes on it. Here's the 2. Here's the bracket on Devontae Smith, which I wish it would have done all game long. Let's take that away. Here's the 1 intermediate route. And again, if you're playing quarterback, take a look. If you're Mac Jones, these are what most of his reads are like, right? Najee Harris really is an extra blocker here who is then going to go out late because there's no one coming in on him. This is really just a 2-man read. If we get one-on-one here, I'm going to take this corner post here to Devontae Smith. If it's not there, I'm taking my intermediate route. Again, very simple. I'm going to call this more old school football. And he takes this throw and makes a really nice throw here. That's a pinpoint throw right in stride. Dean's right there, right over Houston. You'll live with those throws all day long if you're Florida. That is good defense. 2nd and 6 for Bama. They're going to move back into the stack formation. Florida, again, going to play very passive. We've said this before. You can play this way as long as you're going to come downhill aggressively and make a good read. Elam is going to do just that. Check out the read Elam makes here. He comes downhill aggressive and forcefully. It's going to drive Mechie back all the way to the line of scrimmage. That takes away this route. That takes away that ability for Devontae Smith to run, and now he is one-on-one with Marco Wilson. Of course, he'll take his chances there. Marco Wilson makes the tackle for a gain of 3, but this is a nice play by Elam. Come downhill committed, drive Mechie back, allow that to happen, and then if you will, take a note of Steiner. Here's Steiner coming in at the end, and he just sort of says hello because that's what Steiner tends to do. 3rd and 2, this is the play of the game for Florida's defense, if you will. There's Devontae Smith being shadowed by Elam, something we would have liked to have seen a lot more from Florida. Shadowed by Elam. Mac Jones again going to escape the pressure here early from Florida's front four. No blitz here, just a stunt. Zach Carter comes off the edge. Really nice stuff. Mac Jones not in a good place, not comfortable. Going to put a nice pass here into his tight end, though. Nice read by Mac Jones. Nice step up, nice throw, good pass, good play. And then Trey Dean's going to steal this ball from him, which is a fantastic play. Again, Trey Dean was close earlier. He's close again now. It's what you want to see from your safeties. Good to see Florida's safety play here, making some plays. He's going to take off, and unfortunately for him, John Mechie, which ran a go route on the outside, is going to just erase him here with a very clean hit. It's as clean of a football hit as you can get. And you gotta love that if you're a Bama fan. And as a football fan, it's just the right thing to do. Try to take a turnover, separate it from him, and turn it back into a turnover for your own team. And unfortunately, despite the fact that there are all these Gators here, right? All these Gators here, the ball just goes right to Devontae Smith, who's there trying to make a tackle, and he picks it up. And that is unfortunate for Florida. Peak unfortunateness. Great job on Florida's defense here. They had covered all these routes well. They were in a good defense. And if you look at this here, they were right where you wanted to be. They're double bracketed here. Here's Najee coming out there where we have a tackler on there. We've got a good coverage set up here. We've got an underneath linebacker here. We're bracketed over here. It was actually a nice defensive play on 3rd and 2 from Florida. They earned everything about this. And unfortunately for them, this just went the wrong way. Now it's the very next play for Alabama after they dodged that bullet. And unfortunately for Florida, they are going to send out 5. We've known that Florida has issues when they send 5 wide. Teams send 5 wide. Florida has problems. They have problems communicating. They have coverage busts. And here is Cox again. If Florida just holds up, and you're going to see this all day long on this film, if they just hold up for like a half second more on most of these plays, Florida's getting sacks and incomplete passes, but the back end, which has plagued them all year long, is going to plague them again. And here is the best receiver in college football this season, Devontae Smith, wide open, uncovered, walking into the end zone. Not a good look from Florida's defense. Also, not surprising. Let's see if we can diagnose what goes wrong here. We do get the All-22 camera. Those are not my lines. They're CBS's. That is what's going to happen, however. So Devontae Smith is going to come underneath, like he's going to run a drag route, which they run so often, and then go over top Houston. Now, that's not going to be the problem. Elam here, you can see, take a look at this technique. Elam is expecting an outside vertical route. An outside vertical route is what he's guarding against. He's going to get turned around with a post route. He's going to stay on top of this route. Now, Elam rarely blows coverages, so if we're taking season long's worth of evidence here, we are going to assume that he should be sticking with this route. We're going to assume that. No one can know for sure what's supposed to happen. Houston, of course, is an underneath linebacker. There's no way he's supposed to run with Devontae Smith. So the problem is going to rely here. Donovan Steiner and Brad Stewart. Let's rewind this a little bit and see if we can't figure out what's happening. Here's Brad Stewart dropping into this zone. Take a look. Now, Brad Stewart played a great game. We highlighted him on the podcast. He sees this is a deep over coming across to his side. He should be picking this route up. One more time. Steiner here is essentially playing free safety on this particular play. He has the ability to run with the most vertical or most threatening route, and he is going to just clamp down on this route here, when in reality, this route comes to Brad Stewart. He should pass this route off and then look for the next crosser coming over here. Now, in fairness to Florida's defense, this is an excellent route combination, excellent timing by Alabama. One of the things they do because of their offensive line is run some really late developing play concepts that are hard to defend far down the field. That's what you're seeing here. It puts a lot of pressure on a safety to make the right read. In this case, Florida's going to wind up double covering a much less threatening receiver and leaving the most threatening receiver completely wide open. So good scheme by Bama. Also, failure to understand where the playmakers are for Alabama. If I'm coordinating this defense, I'm always telling my single high safety, you better know where this guy is at all times. Your first job is to guard him and let this guy score touchdowns on you, not him, because you know the quarterback is looking for Devontae Smith. So in my opinion, Brad Stewart recognizes this. He's going to run with this route. This has got to be Donovan Steiner, who should be coming down on this route over here and taking a look at Devontae Smith. He doesn't see it. And then you get a walk-in touchdown here from Devontae Smith. Again, impossible for me to know. This is one of those situations where I can say, I think, I don't really know. What we know for sure is that Florida does, in fact, blow this coverage. Florida has enough back here. They're not even running 4 verticals. Take a look. We only have 2 vertical routes and a deep underneath route. We have plenty of people assigned to being deep enough. This is not a coverage beater in terms of back-end coverage. This is a blown assignment, blown communication by Florida, not passing off their routes correctly on the back end. 3rd down and 3 for Alabama. Bama's going to run a corner route here, which is going to be wide open, and thankfully Mac Jones is not going to look at that. But that pass is going to be wide open between Steiner and Marco Wilson, which perhaps wouldn't surprise you. He's not going to look at that. Instead, he's going to look to his receiver here, John Mechie. Now, we mentioned that you got to give attention to Mechie, got to give attention to Harris, and got to give attention to Smith. That's the wise thing to do. We mentioned that you should let other players beat you right here, and if those are the ones that do it, because Mac Jones is typically not making more than 2 reads at any given time. In fact, he's typically making 1 read, so you want to live with that. So I'm okay with the fact, although Florida should not be leaving this open because they're both here guarding it, if you're going to leave anyone open, leave someone else other than those 3 open. And again, sometimes in football, people are going to be open. The quarterback's not going to see it. He's not looking there at all. You can see right now he doesn't have his first read, so now he's going to start happy feeding it around. He's going to lean back, although he doesn't need to. He should have climbed here to make this throw. Not a confident throw. We've talked about this a lot. Bama fans don't like it. The reality is Mac Jones is not a completed product yet. He's not super polished. NFL teams are going to see this. He is, in fact, a game manager. He does exactly what Bama wants them to do, but there's plenty of things in his game he will want to improve on, and things are going to be much more difficult for him when he faces better defenses. He faces teams that don't allow him to have all this time in the pocket, and he has smaller windows to throw to, where he also has to make full field reads. For now, he slings this one away. Brad Stewart, again, who played an excellent game, is all over Mechie, and that's going to be an incompletion and a stop for Florida's defense. Unfortunately, as we're celebrating and everyone's happy, we get that flag, which you never want to see when you're watching television, and it's an inconsequential hands to the face by Zach Carter, and it results in a 1st down for Alabama. 2nd and 2 now for Alabama. They're going to motion out. This is, again, what Florida typically struggles with more than anything else, is more than 3 guys going out, and they, in fact, are going to send 5 out here. Florida, though, was erring on their soft coverage, playing super deep, which did help in this game because Bama likes to attack super deep. As we mentioned, they count on all this time they can buy with their offensive line. Florida's going to cover all these routes off your screen vertically really well. There is really nowhere to go with the football because all of these receivers, although there's tons of space in here, aren't running those routes. They're running vertical routes. So this is good for Florida. This is a foreshadowing of things to come. Diabate, who's gotten really better every single game and is an excellent athlete, was heavily jumping first route moves. Now, this is something he'll learn from. I'm not going to blame him for these things. Alabama ran some great plays on this, but this is the beginning of something that Bama would use later. And notice how he jumps this out route, and he gets beat. Now, he's beat down here in the bottom of your screen. It's not going to matter on this play. Jones is already getting sacked. No issue there. Nothing wrong with jumping routes in certain situations, but save that in your back pocket. Florida's defensive line, again, with just 4, is going to get a lot of pressure here and sack Mac Jones. So they tried to run a bunch of deep routes. They were not available. That leads to a sack, and here's the look from the end zone camera. Take a look at what Florida does here. Again, we're squatting on this. We're bracketing there. Here comes a deep route from Devontae Smith, where we're there, although, again, I think a better quarterback, and this is one thing Kyle Trask would do, right? Take a look at this. There's a huge throw window here. Huge throw window there. Take a look pre-snap. You've got a safety inside hash, which is Steiner, a safety that typically you're not concerned with if you're watching on film. And then you have all this grass over here with the best receiver in college football. In the NFL, I can tell you 10 times out of 10, this ball's going over there. I can tell you Kyle Trask is putting the ball over there. Mac Jones, on the other hand, he's not putting the ball over there because he was looking here. That was his first read. He didn't like it. Now he's going to come down here, and he's going to get a sack. Again, he does not really read the field, but that is the play that you wanted. He does not hit it. Regardless, Florida is sitting super deep, so there's at least a chance that they can get to that route. But in that situation, plenty of space, best receiver take it. They're doubling the route he wanted, which again, Florida did well. We talked leading into it that Florida needs to simply double the route he wanted to. And if he got that, Mac Jones typically wouldn't see the rest of the field. That's not what he really does, and that's a good example of it happening here. 3rd and 7, Florida's going to play a defense I'm perfectly fine with on this play. They're going to play cover 2 man. Cover 2 man, so we're going to lock up here, and then have 2 high in the shell. Excellent defense on 3rd and 7. Nothing wrong with this, especially if you think you're the more athletic team, or in this case, if you think you're playing a quarterback that might not identify as matchups. And then we're going to bring Diabate here rather than having a whole defender on a blitz. That's not going to get home. I think in that particular case, this is where I would have kept a key defender here to drop into this window, because again, we know that Mac Jones doesn't read the field really well. Florida was getting pressure, but probably not going to get it with three. Which was true here. However, I think once the play break down, you'll take Mac Jones trying to free lib. Either way, Brad Stewart here is playing excellent defense, and you're not going to shame this. And that is not, again, that's not Harris, Smith, or Mechie. That's what you want. This is what Florida wants to live with on 3rd and 7. This is a good conversion and a good pass by Bama, something Florida will live with. The only issues, of course, you have here, if you're Florida, is by playing so vertical in these situations, you are effectively eliminating the big play from Alabama, but you're also not allowing yourself to get an extra defender in here. But perhaps most importantly, this is another weak ID by Mac Jones. He takes this matchup here with Brad Stewart versus his tight end, when in reality, he's one-on-one here with Devontae Smith versus Jaden Hill. Now, we love what Jaden Hill's done all year long, but if you're getting one-on-one in cover 2, you're thinking I'm taking my best athlete, and he just destroys Jaden Hill. I mean, gone. And again, I love Jaden Hill. I think Jaden Hill's done nice stuff. Jaden Hill's gone. Jaden Hill is not playing. He's at home watching with us because he just got absolutely annihilated by that outstep by Devontae Smith. Take a head fake. You can't really see it well, but take a look at this outside head fake. Whoop, gone. Jaden, he's gone. He's gone. He's not playing anymore. He has this throw all day long. He's wide open. It's much easier. But again, he's pre-snap locked onto that because it's a throw he likes to make more. Not IDing the matchup, not IDing the defense. That sounds like I'm probably being overly tough on Mac Jones, but if you watch Florida's offensive breakdown, of course, I do the same thing with Kyle Trask. Whenever there's a better pass to be made, you should make it. You are never going to make every single perfect pass you should in a game. But obviously, if you see this kind of defense, you got to look to your best playmakers. He's right there. Either way, great pass here by Mac Jones. Excellent pass. Super tight window. Could have made it much easier on himself, but a nice conversion by Alabama. Nice defense by Brad Stewart, again, who played a really nice football game. So after seeing that previous play, Alabama thinks maybe it's time to take a shot here at Jaden Hill. So let's line up on this side of the field, Devontae Smith, and let's see if we get some attention here. Now here we are going to get some attention. Here's Steiner, here's Brad Stewart. Now we're essentially bracketing Devontae Smith. That's good. I like that. And that means Jaden Hill's going to work one-on-one on Mechie. Well, that's going to be a little dangerous. Let's see how well that works out. Mechie's going to fly off the ball here. He's going to give him a stutter go, much like what Shorter gave in Florida's offense against Alabama, and then we missed on it. And in this case, Mac Jones is going to miss on it as well. He's wide open. This happens because Mac Jones waits way too long to throw this football. Jaden Hill is absolutely beat on the bottom of your screen, and he's beat early. Here we go. There he is. Again, he's beat right now. Take a look at him. He's gone. This ball's got to already be out. You're looking. You already know he's beat. He's beat well before he falls. He's beat right here. Ball's out, easy touchdown. Instead, the ball comes out late and goes out of bounds. So Jaden Hill with a rough 2-game sequence. It's really hard to simulate what Alabama's receivers are doing. Obviously in practice, despite how good Florida's receivers are, practice is not the game. Jaden again there with a two play stretch where thankfully in the books, the stats don't show anything. He didn't do anything, didn't get beat, but he actually got toasted 2 times in a row. So good stuff for him on film to learn from. Let's go back to the beginning of the play one more time so you can see exactly what happens now that you know what to look for. And let's watch Mac Jones, and I'll tell you where it is. Okay, so first he's looking right here and pump faking. The play is then not his first read. And that's the key. And that's the one thing about Mac Jones I really want to show you. He's slow to make his reads. Again, I'm not dogging the guy. He's doing what they want. But he does not come off his reads very quickly. It takes him a long time. Lots of extra footwork. Way late on this throw. That's why that ball's not there. The timing is off. Again, you rarely ever see Trask be this late on any throw. With Mac, you see it quite frequently. And that's just not good enough. You can't miss throws like that, especially when they're that wide open. He misses it there. Florida dodges a bullet, something Florida has to do in every single game to be competitive on defense. They dodged quite a few in this game, still give up 600 yards and 52 points. Yet in some ways, it was one of their better performances. Go figure that. We've talked at length about how Alabama likes to use very simple plays to get first downs once they figure out what you're in. They see that Ventrell Miller is going to follow Najee Harris out. And they get a good idea that Florida's in man defense. Again, now Florida going to play some cover 2 man again. Cover 2 man again. While this could be okay, it's not going to be okay if you're going to make Ventrell Miller race all the way across. This is where you can still play man defense, but you can have a switch. Again, notice how we're 4-on-3 over here. We're 4-on-3 over here. He's going to be the 5th defender coming here with a 4th receiver. In this case, a running back. You can easily have this be switched where you can have your safety essentially slide over. He can pick up the flat. Marco can slide here. Ventrell can slide there. In my opinion, much better way to handle this. You can lock up here one-on-one, and you can slide Trey Dean to free safety. I think it's a much better shift. I prefer those kind of shifts. Florida, of course, never does those kind of shifts under Grantham, basically ever. I've never seen us do it one time on film. That's why I don't talk about it. And it's going to get us here. We're going to stay in straight man. Ventrell's got to come all the way across the formation. He's not actually going to touch. He's not going to touch Najee. And then Najee's going to wind up just barely getting this first down right there. Marco Wilson's going to make a tackle. Again, it's 3rd and 7. You can get a stop. A little switch here, get a stop. I think you want to make teams make the harder throws, not the easier throws. This is one reason why Bama's good, though. If you have superior athletes, a superior offensive line, keep things simple, get the ball to your playmakers, and convert first downs. 1st and 10 for Bama. This is a play where both of these routes are going to be wide open. Here's Marco Wilson. Here's Steiner. We're going to corner route here, wide open. We're going to get a little flat route here, wide open. So we're essentially covering neither of them. Mac Jones is going to take the lower route when he could have a touchdown on the corner route. Why not? Because that's a pretty easy throw, right? You can't hate that one. 1st and 10. That's pretty great. There we go. I'll catch the ball, and I'll get a first down. Again, what you can't see is that this play is just as easy here on the corner route. Marco is not covered. You would think Marco is sinking to potentially cover this corner route. But I can assure you that corner route is wide open over his head. He's not going to stop it. He's flat-footed right now. If the corner route keeps going and Mac Jones looks at him, all he's going to do is drop Marco further and further back. But either way, he doesn't have leverage to stop either. So essentially way off the ball. He can't stop the corner route, and he's also not going to stop that route, and it's going to be a first down. Another crucial 3rd down and 6. We had mentioned how important it was for Florida to get Alabama in 3rd and long. They actually did a good job of doing that. They just couldn't quite get off the field. Here is Jaden Hill again. He's had a rough start to the game. He is going to mess this up from the start and still have a shot. But here's the problem. We've talked about this with Florida getting their pre-snap shifts right on motions. So Jaden Hill is creeping too far over. He's unsure what to do. Now we've got the classic pointing, who is covering who. Here comes Brad Stewart, late to get over here. We just don't handle the most basic of shifts. Again, this is not complicated. We simply have a wide receiver motioning across. Jaden Hill should pass that off, settle himself right here, and become the free, unmarked edge defender, which he eventually does. But he sucks himself far too much inside because he's looking for direction from the safety. How do I cover this? By the time he does turn around, there he is. He's not quite in the position he should be in, which actually should be right here. If he was, he wouldn't have been this far away from Najee. Now he is. And then he comes downhill and misses a tackle on 3rd and 6. It would have obviously been significant. It's not the dog, Jaden Hill. It's tough to tackle Najee even if you're squared up. But again, the details matter. To be a champion, you need to do all these little things correctly. That's why film study is so good. All year long, you're using film study to say, hey, we got to get these things right. We got to get these transitions right. When wide receivers are motioning, we have to clean these things up. Whether it's high school, college, or the NFL, you need to use what's on film to better yourself. So in these big moments, you are doing things correctly. And you can see here, Florida, of course, does not. Why is this not right? Take a look at this. That is, again, Devontae Smith, and he is, again, wide open for a corner route touchdown. One more time. There he is. He's wide open. That's a touchdown. They're not going to stop that. One more time. Clean pocket. Again, this is not an optimal read by Mac Jones. Mac Jones is actually making the wrong read because he has a touchdown. This should be a touchdown over the head of Jaden Hill. He does not take it. And thankfully for him, Najee Harris does the hard work for him. It's 1st and 10 on the 40. This is a good shot where teams like to take shots, especially Alabama deep. Florida is going to play excellent coverage on this one. Again, this does feed right into how Florida likes to play, deep and way off the ball. We're going to cover both of these outlet valves, and we're going to cover the routes they run vertically, and we are going to get a sack because, again, Florida's front four got good pressure. You rarely saw teams get any kind of pressure against Alabama during the season. Florida gets it. Great work by Zach Carter. And now we can see from this angle what Florida does against those vertical routes. Here's Mac Jones, takes the snap. Again, right away, take a look. Florida's on top here. Florida's 3-on-2 on top here. We've got high inside from Brad Stewart. We're on top of the safety, and we're to the outside here. No routes. that we like from Mac Jones. Mac Jones is waiting to see if he can throw this route, which is going to be too late. He can't, and he's going to get sacked. So nice work by Florida, again, covering and taking away the deep shots from Alabama. That was important in limiting their possessions and actually having them have the ball longer, which we said would be beneficial for Florida. Limiting the possessions would allow Florida to stay in the game. I think that happened to be true in this football game. 3rd down and 7 for Florida. For some reason, we're trying to sub Kyrie Campbell. This is not his fault. Florida comes with a super late sub. Notice it's early in the play clock. Florida's defense, again, not ready for this situation. It's a crucial 3rd down. It's 21-10. We want to get off the field here. We don't. This is a free play for Bama, but this still illustrates the issue that Mac Jones has. This is a very easy throw. Take a look at this move. That is a great move. He is wide open, and Mac Jones is looking at him. This ball's got to come out right now into this window. There's a safety that's recovering deep over the top, but this is your throw window. If you want to throw the rail route, it's got to be thrown in that window. He's looking at it, looking at it, looking at it, moving the feet, looking at it, then throwing it. Impossibly late. Again, he could have hit him wide open in stride on the 40 or 35-yard line. He waits so long, tries to hammer it in there. Really, this ball should have been completed in this window here, and he would have had it easily. So again, timing issues for Mac Jones. He's just, in my opinion, not quite ready to do the hard things that quarterbacks must do, especially at the next level, and he's largely benefiting from making much easier throws, far fewer reads, and again, unfortunately, the average fan, average Heisman voter, average person out there that's not watching a lot of film. That's not average because they don't have the intellect for it, just average in time spent researching what guys are doing. We have lives. We don't have the whole of time to watch every play on film. You just see the results and the stats, but the stats don't always tell the story, and that's kind of the key. You have to look at how they're performing. Of course, that's one thing NFL scouts do. It's one reason why I think Mac Jones is going to probably fall potentially down some of these NFL scouts ladders are plays like these. Again, this is not a difficult concept, not a difficult throw, not a difficult read. He has everything he wants here. Ball's got to be out. Set the platform, get the ball out. He's not. He's late. He's sliding around. He's stepping down. Not a good ball there. Either way, Florida's offside, so it becomes 3rd down and 2. So 3rd and 3, how will Florida play this? Will they play this aggressively? Will they play this passively? If you guessed passively, you will guess correct. We have a bunch of guys off the ball. Here's 4 guys way off the ball. We only have 4 down linemen. Again, Alabama in here with 2, 4, and 6. Florida here running a 3-4 set. So we have 5 on the line, 2 linebackers, 5 on the line, and then here. So we technically have 7. So we should be equaled up, except we're going to leave 1 off the edge here and then bring the safety down from far off the line here to play the run. Again, as we've talked about before, I think it's more profitable for Florida in this case to just say, forget it, we're stopping the run. Let's clean these splits up. Let's get 3 in the box here. Let's play it like that, and then we can always drop someone post-snap. Play more aggressively here. Florida does not, and Alabama takes the 1st down. 2nd down and 5 for Bama. Likely place on the field to take a shot. There's the play action. Here's Brad Stewart. Brad Stewart is shepherding this to the safety. He's underneath in bracket coverage, and the safety is going to be over top of him. There's Mac Jones setting his feet, taking a throw. Again, this is really the wrong throw in this situation. He has some easy throws like this one. That's a pretty easy throw. Guy standing still. He's got this one here too. That's a pretty easy throw. He could really make a million different throws here. He's got wide open guys all over the field. He's going to pick the wrong throw, which he does. This is the wrong throw, but Brad Stewart makes a hero play on this. Again, this is bracket coverage. Here's Steiner, who we mentioned typically just likes to come in at the end of the play, kind of not do a lot. This is all Brad Stewart, and you're going to see on the other camera angle just how much all Brad Stewart this is on Devontae Smith. This is a fantastic play. Here he is in bracket coverage. Take a look at him running with him. He knows on the outside he's going to have some help. He stays to the inside doing his job, recognizes now the route's done. He's digging, turns his head, and let's take a look at Steiner. Here's Steiner. Ideally, you would like your safety to be making a play or on top of this route. He is not on top of this route, and he is not going to get there to make a play. He's not there. He's not doing anything. He's watching, which is what Steiner typically does. Yes, I am being critical of him, but that's just what the film says. Brad Stewart's here to make a pick. Great timing, great peak, great leap. That's an excellent play from Brad Stewart. That's fantastic football. It's now 3rd down and 5, and here comes an overly complicated, nonsensical defense from Grantham in Florida. And let's take a look at what we choose to do. 3rd down and 5, we're going to send 4. All right, here they come. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to drop Slayton back into this drag window. Now, Bama does like to run drags, but everything is about the pre-snap alignment. Take a look at this. Let's play you're the quarterback. On this side of the field, you have the beloved stack formation, which is great. And this is what you have. You got a safety way off, and you have a corner to the outside. So all we're going to do is take advantage of that. Vertical release here. The bunch receiver is going to follow in the back there in the stack and just take this inside route, and we're going to guard, essentially, again, neither of them, right? What are we guarding here? Nothing. What are we asking Bernie to do? We're asking Bernie to come back here and guard whatever dig route comes. So we're just giving you this. It's 3rd down and 5. You want that route? You can have that route. That's fine. No worries. We'll just give you that route. You want a 1st down? You get a 1st down. And you get a 1st down. And you get a 1st down. And you get a 1st down. Now we're going to flex on him because miraculously, this actually isn't a 1st down because Devontae Smith goes for a home run here rather than just take the 1st down. But it's hard to blame him. You're so open. No one's covering you. No one's harassing you all day long. We're letting you do whatever you want. Take more. Doesn't get more. We flex. Classic Florida move there. It's 21-10. They've scored on us every single time they've had the ball. Minus the trading pick. They're driving again, and we're flexing. Good look. It's now 4th and inches. We've shown you before that Bama likes to run the quarterback sneak, but now they're actually not on the quarterback sneak formation. So what do we think they're going to run? They're still going to run a quarterback sneak. Florida here on the line, actually playing decently aggressive on this play. Not going to stop it. That's okay. You're not going to stop very many 4th and inches, but because they called a timeout, Florida was essentially ready for the quarterback sneak, but didn't stop it. Bama gave them a little wrinkle. 3rd and 2 now for Bama. Something Florida did do in this game, and you're going to see it more often, was they did play more aggressive in certain tendency situations. So we show you the good, bad, and the ugly. We always say that every single week. We don't have any biases against certain people, players, coaches, or whatever. We just look on the film and say, here's what matters. So Florida is playing much more aggressively here. We're man-to-man. We're playing aggressive in the box. We're trying to deny Bama from doing what they want to do, which is run the football. James Houston is here, and he's got a chance to make a stop right there. You can make that tackle right here. We can make a stop and make it 4th down and 1. We don't. Nice effort by Bama, but good job by Florida's defense there to be aggressive and take a chance by putting more guys in the box rather than playing safe, just allowing them to convert. Sometimes teams just run filthy plays against you, and here's 5 wide from Bama. Broken record here, but something Florida struggles with, covering 5 wide. And Diabate is going to do his job exactly right. And he's the victim of an excellent play. So here's contact. We love this. Make some contact early. Check. Great job, Diabate. That's good work on film study. Release that to the next player, which you do. Then go to your zone, which you're covering over here, what you're doing. And it looks like you're going to play nice defense. Najee is just chilling. Najee's chilling right there. Like I'm running a hitch route. And take a look at this. He's not. He's running a perfectly timed slant route. Mac Jones makes a nice pass. And, of course, where are Florida's safeties? Well, here's Steiner. Again, there's Steiner. Take a look. There he is. I'm not making this stuff up. He's always there at the end. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here. Whoop, there I am. Cool. Always come in at the end. That's me. There's Marco. Or that's Brad Stewart, rather. Frustrated. Because he should be frustrated. Because where's the help? Where's the inside help? Where's somebody making a hit? Where's somebody helping? Where's someone else? Who knows? I have no idea. Either way, this is a great play. And sometimes this happens, but take a look if you're Mac Jones. Again, here's your guy, Mac Jones. He wins the best quarterback award in the SEC over Kyle Trask, which in my opinion is a total joke because he doesn't read the field. Doing a nice job. Great stats. Super high completion rate. Torched Florida. Could you imagine what Kyle Trask would do against Florida? I don't know. It'd be crazy. Probably doesn't practice every single week. Either way, this is a great play. I'm taking nothing away from Bama here. Great play. Notice again, Florida's getting pressure. We're just a half second away. Florida's D-line was excellent in this game, just a half second away. If we can get some better coverage here on the first read, really the only read Mac Jones is looking at. He's not making a read. He is just looking here the whole way. This is a design play, and it's a great play. That's what Bama does really well. You cannot knock that. That's really good stuff. If you can hit your first read most of the time and win, there is nothing wrong with that. That's the best way to win. So I want that to be clear, although I'm saying I don't think Mac Jones reads the field well. As a football team, if you're getting your first read most of the time, that means as coaches, you're doing your job and your players are executing the look you want. So hats off to them. Great play, great design, excellent work, nice pass, good finish. and frustrating, obviously, for Florida to be that close on the D-line so many times and just not able to hold up on the back end. Florida did do an excellent job against Alabama's screen game. They typically are very good with it. Florida was excellent against it, largely because, again, of the D-line. Take a look here, immediate D-line pressure. They're trying to run a wide receiver screen here to Devontae, and if they run this screen, gotta tell you, things are looking pretty good for them. Look, here's Cox getting up big in the throw window. We're in the face here. Imagine this gets completed right here. Take a look at this. I don't know, you tell me. Where's that going? That's probably going for a lot of yards, right? So again, Florida's D-line, an excellent unit, making up for all sorts of ills that occur on the back end. And there's another example of it right there. 2nd and 10 now for Bama. Of course, the only reason Bama has this much time is because Florida did not burn more time at the end of the first half, which they should have done, of course, to increase the EV, especially knowing that Bama had scored every single time they had the ball, with the exception of the one pick that then immediately flipped back over to them. Florida needed to take the risk of even wasting a down, potentially, to waste more time off the clock, but at the very least, they should have taken the full play clock and reduced the time Bama had. They did not. This is going to make them pay dearly. Now, on this particular play here, Florida is going to drop 8. And when Florida does drop 8, something that's plagued them all season long is Florida, although they're playing in zone, does not stay attached to the receiver. At some point in time, you eventually have to lock into your guy. Brad Stewart had this covered, and then when the play developed longer, he just let it go to effectively guard no one. But again, at some point in time, their routes are done. You've got to latch on and play defense. I'm quite sure Florida simply just is not coached to do that because it never shows up on film. Everyone just sort of stays in a static zone. That's what happens here. Mac Jones steps up nicely and gets a nice chunk gain. Very next play, Florida's defensive line still dropping 8, rushing only 3. They're going to get pressure. Look at the pressure here that Florida's getting. Almost about to be a sack. You're going to see Carter here make some contact, which is going to throw off Najee. Ball's going to hit him. Incomplete pass. Again, that's all Florida's defensive line, getting there almost immediately, rushing 3, and also taking away Mac Jones's first read. Doesn't like his first read. He pulls off of it, just wants to go to his check down right away. Very simple quarterbacking. Not there. Incomplete pass. 2nd and 10. Now we're going to see some classic Florida defense here. We're going to start the snap with 3 defenders, 12 to 15 yards off the line of scrimmage, because why not? Because there's 42 seconds left. Bama still has timeouts, 2 of them, and they're on about the 50-yard line. So we should just play super soft. Not only are we going to start there, we're going to bail. We're going to bail out right away, and then we're going to get a little chuck here from Diabate, which is good. That's great technique, actually. Again, another check there for Diabate. We're going to pass him off to presumably a defender behind them, but there is no one behind them because, again, we're just going to watch. We're just spectating. We're watching. It's the SEC title game. It's 28-17. We need to get a stop. We get the ball back. We had a chance to get a 2 for none. We blew that by not taking more time off. So now we got to get a 2 for 1. Certainly we don't want to let them score. Let's just give them, again, the easiest route you can imagine. There it is. And oh, by the way, if you guessed that that is Devontae Smith, you're correct. There again, best receiver in college football. We're not going to guard him. Not worried about him. Perfectly fine. Just let him go ahead and get a 17-yard uncontested slant route that takes us 7 more yards to tackle him. There is Steiner, of course, again. There you go. Steiner coming in at the end. He's always here. Guy loves the camera. Always comes in at the end. Great defense. 2nd and 3 for Bama, still driving. 23 seconds left. Florida now just hoping to get a field goal on the board for Bama and not a touchdown. This illustrates a lot of the flaws with Mac Jones here. Florida, again, rushing 3. Take a look. He's got happy feet. Watch him back here. Happy feet, happy feet. His eyes are no longer looking downfield, something we talk a lot about with Trask, something every NFL scout would look for. Happy feet, happy feet. He's been feeling the pressure all game, and he thinks, okay, I don't like my first read, which is over here. Didn't like this, so happy feet, check down, check down, check down, check down. There he is. Bad pass, could have been a pick. Again, these are not high-level quarterbacking skills from Mac Jones. The film says so, it's just there. 3rd and 3 for Bama. You can drop 8 all you want, but if you've got a million guys way off the ball, eventually really what you're doing is just playing one-on-one. The rest is window dressing, and that's Mechie, faking like he's going to do this little sit route, and that's going to draw Ventrell Miller, and that's an easy first down. And in fairness to Miller, there's no way. He has no chance of guarding Mechie in the first place. But again, if you're going to play that far off and take away the deep ball, you are going to give up basically one-on-ones underneath. Easy conversion on 3rd and 3. Now, Florida's willing to do that because they're thinking, hey, we're going to make sure they just get a field goal. Let's not be as aggressive. I think you could play that much more aggressively than that without still being super afraid of giving up a touchdown in that scenario. But Florida finds themselves with 13 seconds left and Bama on the 18-yard line needing to make 1 or 2 stops to ensure a field goal. Very next play, it's 1st and 10. Seems like a good idea for Florida to put, again, this has been working really well, 3 guys 14 yards off the line of scrimmage. It seems like a wise thing because why wouldn't you want to do that? Because who cares? Here's Devontae Smith again. We're going to let him have a free release and do really whatever he wants because that's fine. And we're going to rush this time 5. We're bringing a blitz. So we're going to bring a blitz, but behind our blitz, we're going to play impossibly deep even though there's not a lot of field left. So we're going to bring a blitz, which is great. And rather than bring a blitz and come up and take advantage of the fact the quarterback has less time, try to steal a route, try to get a pick, try to make a tackle, try to make sure they have to use this last time out, we're going to blitz and stay way back as though they're going to run a route into the tunnel or something. I don't know. Maybe they're going to. There's the blitz. There's the slant route. Again, there's Diabate. Tough cover, right? He's shuffling. He goes for the first step on the out route. That's not easy to do. He should have help. He should have help here. Where's the help? There comes Steiner in at the end. He doesn't want to use his arms. Why use your arms to tackle if you don't have to? Just throw your body in there and let him score. One more time. Throw your body in there, Steiner. That's it. There you go. Touchdown. All of this could have been avoided if you bring the blitz, which we did, which is a fine call. Bring these guys up. Count on the fact that Bama does not have enough time. By the way, just take a look at what's going on here. Who do you want to throw the ball here to? That's fine. You could take that one if you want Mac. Again, Mac's a pre-snap read quarterback, right? This is what we talk about. He's not reading anything. He's like, I'm throwing the ball to Najee. That's what I'm going to do. There it is. Done. Great. It's touchdown pass. However, look at this. Could have just taken this. Look at that. He's completely unguarded. That's fine. Works out for him. It's a touchdown. Florida obliges. What are we doing? This is what we're doing. We're bringing a blitz, and we're doing this. Leaving all this open, despite the fact that you could have come up here because you're blitzing here, taking time away. Nah, no worries. Let's play as passively as possible and let them score a touchdown. Now the third quarter, Florida's just scored to put some game pressure on Alabama. 2nd down and 6 for Bama. And they're going to run a nice play of their own in the bunch set here. Here's Devontae. We talked about them liking to run these east-west screens behind the line of scrimmage. And they're going to get a block from the top. And they're going to get a block out here. Now we've talked at length about why it is suboptimal to guard these bunch sets with space like this. And this is yet another example of why that is the case. There it is. We get a block immediately on Brad Stewart. Devontae's going to pull around here and get a block, and now we're sucked inside by Steiner. Why? Because he shouldn't be. Take a look one more time. Steiner sees the run fake. This is why play action is good. He thinks I'm going to help on the run, and now I'm too far inside, and now I'm basically out of the play. Now I'm going to run on a shallow angle, even though there's no way I can get there. And I'm a spectator, and there I am at the end. Cool, you're out of bounds. Okay, cool. Yep, I don't want to tackle you. We're out of bounds already. Great. Now, it's nice sometimes when you see other teams make wrong decisions numbers-wise, which Bama's going to do here. It's pretty comfortable. Florida has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. So you got 7 guys relatively in the box versus Alabama's 6. So that's -1 for Alabama. They definitely should be looking to pass here instead. They're not going to do that. They're going to take their chances running, and Florida's going to do an excellent job stuffing this play. That's very encouraging for Florida. They get off the field. It's a nice stop. It's a nice play. It's good defense by Florida. Take a look. Florida's ready for the run. The defensive line, again, holding their own. This is the line of scrimmage. We flattened one here, held the edge here, forced to play back into the inside. Then Bernie gets kind of fortunate. He gets blocked into the lane. Either way, nice play. Good job up front by Florida. Florida's defensive line, again, impressive this season. Now it's 4th and 3, and if you're Florida's defense, you're probably hoping to dodge a bullet because in all likelihood, you're not going to stop them. Let's consider this bullet dodge. Take a look at Mechie here. Yeah. That guy. He's pretty open. But thankfully, Mac Jones is predetermined he's going to throw the ball to Devontae Smith. Elam, who's excellent and can be really excellent, is going to stick with him the entire way on this drag route. Look, avoids Mechie's brush, and then goes. Now, one more time, let's talk about what should happen here. If you're Mac Jones, it's a mesh route, right? So what's your job? You read the mesh point. This is your mesh point. You stare at that mesh point and you read it. And your job is not to lock into a player. Your job is to read the mesh. And on the mesh, what do you see? You see a player running this way, and you see nobody running this way. You see no defender here. What that tells you is this is the grass you want to attack. But again, that's not what Mac Jones does. Mac Jones is already determined a long time ago he's throwing the ball to Smith, which is what he does, and Florida gets a stop. So I'm not trying to be overly critical of Mac Jones, but if you're coaching Mac Jones, this mesh point is just not done correctly. He's not reading this correctly. We see this frequently on film with him. He's not reading it. He's deciding who he's going to. If he's reading this, he puts the ball out here right now. He already knows it. Ball's out. Nice conversion, and in reality, a touchdown for Alabama on that play is what would have resulted. Instead, Florida gets a much-needed stop. 34-24, 35-24 still, so Florida does not score with their chance. And now, is it a good idea to do this? Here's Devontae Smith again, my preferred method of defense. Put someone here, shove him off the line, have a corner or safety oversee it, bracket him. Florida will choose, let's go play action. Nice work by Bama, because you want to do that. And then let's just give him this route, because that's probably a tough throw. Yoop. There it is. Again, Devontae Smith targeted 19 times in this game with 15 catches, and most of them were not very difficult. This is more really on the Mac Jones file that will live in the annals forever, especially if he wins the Heisman. At least we'll have film on who won the Heisman. I do feel like I'm becoming too critical at this point in time. It's easy, by the way, to become cynical and frustrated when you watch every play on film all season long, and the guy that you think is more deserving in your conference of Kyle Trask is not, and that's not because I'm a Gator fan. It's just the coach in me and looking at it on film. It just is what it is. But I need to do my best not to make this dripping with so much sarcasm. But on this play, again, we can see Mac Jones steps back. Now, this is bad footwork. Step, set the feet. Now we're ready to drive and throw. Drive and throw, drive and throw. You're throwing this out route, drive and throw. He's not. He's going to, there's no pressure here. He's going to, look at his feet. He's purposely put his feet sideways to open himself up to make this throw. Not fundamental, a little bit of happy feet. Ducks away from the ball, fades away. The receivers turn all the way around. Again, you rarely will see Trask do things like this, especially with no pressure. When he's tapping here, so he sets his feet, he steps up and drives into this throw. If he does, Devontae Smith, who's gotten himself quite open, is turning the corner and getting much more. Instead, he winds up getting 10 or 11 yards. And there's Steiner. 2nd and 10 now. Anytime I get a chance to highlight the D-line, I will. Bama's going to try to run against Florida's front. Florida, a 3-man front. Going to drop into coverage here with a backside linebacker. This should be a favorable situation for Bama to run, except Zach Carter is going to do a masterful job holding the edge and extending this play all the way to the outside. Take a look at that. That is an excellent play by Zach Carter. You just cannot say enough of this. It's really encouraging to see Florida be able to make plays like this against Alabama, and that's a great one. 3rd and 13 for Bama now. Florida going to again drop 8. 3-man rush comes in. Bama going to heavily protect this as they do, and then send out some delayed. So these guys are protect first, and then delayed out of the backfield as checkdowns. And again, 3-man route. This is one of the reasons why Florida can be successful against Bama. This is what Grantham tends to excel at. This is a little bit more of not old school, but traditionally kind of an old school attack here with a longer developing play. Florida does take away the deep route at the top of your screen that Mac Jones wanted. You can see him looking at it, doesn't like it. He checks this route, doesn't like that either. He's going to dump this one down. Brad Stewart's going to play excellent on this. You'll see from the other angle. And of course, as Florida tacklers tend to do, they don't use their arms. You don't have to tackle with your arms, they say. Look at me, I'm so good at tackling, I don't need to use my arms at all. I'll just throw my body at them like I'm a dead fish. Look at this, whoop, I'm a fish, I'm gonna slap them with my tail right there, wham, get down. That's not good tackling technique. Again, Brad Stewart, you gotta clean that stuff up. You gotta get better at this. This stuff's not gonna fly. Florida does it all the time. There's obviously no discussion of tackling properly. Florida tacklers seemingly are able to tackle people however they want, and Brad Stewart decides he's going to tackle like that. Now, he does make the tackle, but that's certainly anything but fundamental. Florida does get a third down stop, keeping them in the football game. Here's to look from this angle. He wants to look at the deep route off to the left of your screen. Again, Florida's bracketing that, so that's gone. And then this route here is going to be actually looking like a slant, but then turning out in the zone to here. That's not covered either. That's Brad Stewart, who perfectly takes that look away. So these two are both gone. Now he's going to go to his check down, which is right. You should do that. And then Brad Stewart's going to come down here and make the dead fish tackle. Nice play by Florida and a good stop. Now we've got ourselves a football game. It's 35-31 in the fourth quarter. It's everything Florida could have wanted to be in this football game at this point in time. Florida again going to drop 8. And again, if you're dropping 8, you need to be covering at least the initial route windows. That's the point of dropping 8. And then you can allow your defense to go from there. Florida's not going to do that. Florida's going to have Bogle try to get over here to the flat, where, of course, Devontae Smith, the best receiver, is, and we're not going to get there in time. Ball's on time, easy completion. No Steiner in this shot. He's somewhere else, not there. 3rd and 1 for Florida in the third quarter. This is also really encouraging. Florida very aggressive on this play, as they should be. And they do get this stopped for just a second. If we can just come in here and grab this, we'd have it. We don't. Trey Dean seems more interested in juking Najee than trying to get in there and pull Mac Jones back. Not that he could have potentially saved this, but either way, he wants to make a juke move there. As it is, though, Florida lined up aggressively on that play. That was a good sign. 1st and 10 for Bama. Florida loading the box now. Bama's gone to a 2 wide receiver set, so they're showing they're most likely going to run here. Florida counters that with the proper number of men in the box. That's good work by Florida. We haven't always seen that this season. Florida trying to be aggressive down here at the end. The only problem here is that, again, if you're not going to use your arms to tackle, you want a dead fish. Here comes another dead fish tackle. Essentially, it really looks like Elam is just ducking to get out of the way. Now, Najee does this to lots of people, but this is a bad look. Typically, he does it to people when they're at least trying to tackle on this sort of line. To just dive out of the way, not a great look, really, at all. And again, tackling has plagued Florida all season long. Not surprising to see it show up here. 1st and 10 for Bama. Bama driving 35-31. Florida's defensive line again going to do a nice job here at the point of attack. Florida 3-on-2 here. No safety up here, playing aggressively against the run. I obviously like this. We've said all year long that Florida does well. When they're in the proper look against the run, they actually do well to defend it, and there's a nice example of it there. 1st and goal from Alabama. Florida again playing much more aggressively now in the box, although I think we could have been even more aggressive, just basically giving them the pass here. But we're coming downhill right off the snap. We're filling the gaps right off the snap and almost getting a stop here. Najee barely gets in on 1st and goal from the 1. It would have been nice to have seen Florida doing this all season long. Regardless, that was nice defense. Nice aggressive defense by Florida against the run in the fourth quarter. But they do not accomplish their mission as Alabama drives right down the field and scores a touchdown to keep their double-digit margin. It's now 1st and goal after the Delance missed assignment and then sack fumble of Trask. Florida confused on this play. Not quite ready to get lined up here, despite, again, it's being 1st and goal. Here we go. We're not ready. But thankfully, Florida is in more of an aggressive posture. Pay attention to what's happening here. This is Devontae Smith and Marco Wilson. That's some foreshadowing for you in this kind of formation. Florida, again, defaulting to being aggressive against the run, which is the right thing to do. Nice play there by James Houston. Way to get through the hole. Also, always notice how the defensive line is doing a nice job, generally, holding that line of scrimmage and allowing the linebackers, of course, to come through unharassed. 3rd and goal for Bama. This time, Florida hopefully going to, again, dodge some bullets here. They're playing goal line defense literally. Going to play the line. That's fine. We saw them play that earlier. That got them. This time, of course, Bama's a little closer. There's less space between the linebackers and the safeties, which is what you want to see. And Bama is going to run a play here that could have cost Florida a touchdown, but thankfully, Florida's going to dodge some bullets. We're going to let a free slant here come from Mechie. Mechie is going to be the person the ball should go to, but it's hard to argue with Devontae Smith, who yet again is really not having anyone pay attention to him, as we essentially have James Houston on him one-on-one, and then Brad Stewart now is sliding over to bracket some, and of course, Mac Jones has already made up his mind. He's only throwing the ball to Devontae Smith, which is not a horrible decision since Florida's going to let him catch it on the 2-yard line. But if you look here at the bottom of your screen, if he instead decided to actually read this out for a second, he would have seen that he's got a slant route here for a touchdown. Now, you're not going to dog a quarterback too much, especially for this one. This is tough, right? You're thinking 3rd down and goal. Florida's going to drop 8 again. There's not a lot of space in the field. You might hit the first best look you have. This is your best player. Nothing wrong with that. Main thing is that ball's late again. And that's the thing about Mac Jones. Again, if I'm NFL scouting him, I am not an NFL scout, by the way, this ball's got to be out right now. Get the ball on. Get it on him. If the ball gets on him sooner, he might have a chance to make a move. By the time this ball does get to him, he's doomed. Either way, good defense by Florida. That's exactly what you're trying to do on 3rd and goal, is you're trying to get a tackle short of the goal line. They force a field goal. This is a huge win for Florida that kept Florida in the game. So great job by the defense to get a stop in that situation. It kept the game alive. The 7-point game now. Bama's come out with a 10-yard run, a 5-yard false start, a 5-yard offsides on Florida that Dickerson, of course, generated. Again, really illegally. And now it's 1st and 5. Now notice Florida's posturing here. We're playing very, very aggressive. Of course, I like this. Bama typically is going to get more conservative and run the situation, make them run it. Florida's going to do so. The only problem is, again, is you're going to have Steiner, who tends to prefer to be more a spectator than an actual tackler. He's going to be your free man. He has to make this tackle. He's flowing with the running back. He has to get over here. He's slow. He's late. Why is he holding here? I have no idea. He needs to get himself out there. There is no hole there. And he's late. And then again, he's going to just run with him, and we'll make a tackle 30 yards later. So Florida's ready for this play. Again, Bama has loaded up the strong side, which you see here. Let's see what goes wrong. Florida's been prone to this all year long. We only have 2 on this weak side. And as they then begin to pull blockers across, we do not get the 4th over there in time. So we essentially become undernumbered. That has plagued Florida all season long, and it plagues them there in a crucial spot. 1st and 10 for Bama now. Florida getting very aggressive against the run because they can't stop it. We're locked up in man here and here. We have no safety. There's no one back. We are playing very aggressively against the run. Bama is going to run it. Florida's there for it, and they get a stop of a couple of yards. Again, even a field goal here for Bama is going to feel good for them. So they're not going to be too risky with this. They want to be safe and conservative. We've showed you earlier that they've been noting that Florida's been playing more of this cover 0. Let's take a look at what they choose to do on the next play. We can take a look at just how successful Bama's been. Of course, you've been watching this breakdown. You've seen it. Unfortunately, our camera angle here is going to be a little slow to give it to us. But here we go. We showed this earlier, right? Same look from Florida. Elam now on this side. Devontae Smith here. There he is. All right. Mechie's here. No safety. We saw this earlier. It's Marco Wilson on Devontae Smith. That's a matchup that Florida cannot like and that Bama loves, and it's 2nd down and 7. So Bama has seen this look a couple of times in the game now. They can feel pretty confident that Florida's not going to help on this look. There's a little play action, and there is an easy touchdown. Again, does not get any easier than this. There's questions that need to be asked of Florida's defense, one of which obviously is how is Marco still playing in these moments despite playing defense like this? Look, I have no doubt the knee injury messed up Marco Wilson. If we go back and look at his film as a freshman, this stuff was not happening. It's a sad story, in my opinion, with regards to Marco Wilson, because once upon a time, this stuff just didn't happen to him. But post-knee injury, he just does not have the same hip flip, the same quick feet. He's unable to stay with even basic moves. We saw what Devontae did to Jaden Hill earlier. He's a very, very hard receiver to defend, even on your best day. But this is actually a very simple, quick move here by Devontae. He's going to gain separation for sure, but there is no resistance to be had here. I mean, there's just nothing. I mean, he is completely wide open. It's as easy as it can be at the most crucial time. And again, this is going to be diagnosed by Alabama based upon a full game's worth of film that, okay, you know what? They're not going to have help on that. They're not going to help the inside. We're going to take advantage of this little play action, pull all the linebackers up. Easiest throw ever. And again, Marco it's almost like he thinks he has help. When you look at how much separation he has, it's like he just thinks someone's magically going to be there. I mean, I have no real idea, but he's just not there. And as a coach, you are the culmination of all the decisions you make, who your other coaches are, what players you choose to play, what play calls you choose to call, how you choose to manage the game. All of those things are in your realm, and Marco is certainly trying his hardest out there. I have no doubt he's doing all that he can do. It's just not enough. And at some point in time, you have to try other solutions. This was sort of inevitable, and that's what happens. So Florida now with the onside kick, and it fails. Ideally, if Florida had another timeout left, which we talked about this in the defensive breakdown, this was a huge gaffe, an absolute no-no for Florida to waste that timeout trying to get the extra point via the 2-point conversion, although it's perfectly fine to go for the 2-point conversion. In fact, that is the optimal expected value way to go. That play should have already been ready to have been called, and they should have made that call after the touchdown. They were indecisive. They chose to do it late. They called a timeout to get the 1 point. That could not have happened. The reason it could not have happened is now all Alabama has to do is basically take 3 essential knees, and now because of field position, punt Florida deep, and the game is more or less over, when if Florida had these 2 timeouts, the situation would, of course, be much differently. Now, Alabama could have still gotten a first down and ended the game, but you need to let your players decide that out. So on 1st down and 10 with 2:05 left, Florida, again, playing very aggressive. There's no safety here. This is the appropriate way to play. If Bama wants to get cute and try to throw for it on you, you will give it to them. Your job is to stop the run. Florida is selling out to stop the run, and they get a stop on 1st down. 2nd and 9 now. All 11 players for Florida in the box. No receivers for Alabama. It's clearly a run situation. Florida, in previous times, has not done this, so we must applaud it where it's right. They're selling out for the run, and they're going to get a stop. Again, Florida, look at this D-line pressure here. Take a look at Slayton getting through. An excellent tackle here by Carter. I mean, he actually makes this tackle. This is a phenomenal play. Look at him. Gets his arm out there. That's great stuff. So Florida's D-line, if you give them even numbers, can excel, and you're seeing it there, bringing up a very crucial 3rd down and 9, as opposed to the clock stopping right here with 1:53. Imagine there's 1:53, and it being 3rd down and 9, that clock is going to keep running. So like we mentioned, it could be 3rd down with 1:53 left. Instead, it's 3rd down and 9 with 1:13 left. Florida, again, going to say, you can pass it on me all you want. I'm not going to play safety. I'm loading the box. Bama, not even showing that they will pass it. They're going to run it. This is the benefit Bama has because Florida did not call the timeout. They know they really don't have to get risky here. Their EV is already high enough because of the Christmas gift that Florida gave them, which is most unfortunate. 3rd and 9 here. Brad Stewart going to hold the edge really nicely, engage the block, hold the edge, string it out, get a tackle. Great play, nice job. Excellent game by Brad Stewart, bringing up 4th down, of which, again, this clock is still running. So it could have been at about 1:50. It would have run down to 1:10 or so. Florida would have gotten the ball with a minute or so left. They would not have had to kick the onside kick. They would have gotten the ball somewhere potentially on their own 25 or 30, which is tons of time in college football to drive down and get a score. And unfortunately, of course, we know that's not going to happen, as Florida's going to get the ball back with 20 seconds left on their own 12-yard line, and they're going to run exactly 1 play with no timeouts left. Either way, that's going to bring a conclusion to the 2020 film review of Florida's defense. I know for a lot of you it was long suffering. For me to do it, it was certainly difficult. Hopefully it will serve as a hallmark for future years to see how Florida's defense changes and progresses. And obviously this SEC championship game, despite all of the crazy plays and the flaws and how Florida managed a lot of things, did go right down to the wire. It was a very frustrating and entertaining game on so many accords. It proved that Florida does have and did have the athletes to be able to compete with Alabama in some regards and did not in other regards. Either way, at the end of the day, Florida's defense was this team's Achilles heel. They were not championship worthy, and that led to the demise, really, of Kyle Trask and Florida's offense, and ultimately led to a subpar 2020 season. For the Gator Nation Football Podcast, I'm James DiVirgilio. Till next time, go Gators.